Hello, Mark Romero here. Welcome to another episode of the Harmonize Your Life podcast. Actually, the last episode of 2019. So here we are once again, and I'm joined today by Dr. Lara. Dr. Lara, please say hi.
Hi.
So welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. I think one of the things that's really cool about, the year end and coming into a new year, especially with the end of a decade and the coming in of a new decade, it's really a great time to look at what do I want to let go of in this last year in 2019, this previous year, that I don't want to take in with me to 2020 or into the new decade. And then what would I like to incorporate in? What would I like to bring into my experience? And I'd love to attribute this to kind of like the metaphor of breathing. It's like to breathe in what gives you life, what energizes you, what moves you forward. You have to be willing to let go of what's no longer serving you anymore. So this is a great opportunity to really kind of intentionally set that into motion. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think it's great. I love the new year. I love it when we have the opportunity to just let go of things that don't serve us anymore, of things that had happened in the previous year, and just start a clean slate. I love this time of year.
So I thought rather than just say, hey, do this and do that, I thought we would kind of share maybe some things that we want to let go of and some perhaps maybe things that we want to bring into. And I know we were talking earlier about what you'd like to let go of. What would you like to let go of for
There's
the year?
a few things that I want to let go of. The first is self-doubt. For many, many years, I have doubted myself and my work and what I'm able to do. And this last year, I really stepped out of my comfort zone and have been able to see the results of the people that I've worked with. And, each time that I go forward and go beyond my comfort zone, that little voice of self-doubt comes back in. So what I'm working on this next year, 2020, is to not so much like release the self-doubt because that comes up, but to not listen to that when it comes up, because it's going to come up. Every time we go beyond a comfort zone, the self-doubt comes up, but I'm choosing to release the power that I give it when it comes up.
Kind of like to move forward regardless of whether you feel the fear or the self-doubt, to be so committed to what it is that you're stepping into that you just push through it and move through that process and step in. Anything else that you want to let go of?
The other one is self-criticism, because you were just talking about you feel the fear and do it anyway. So then you do it. And then what I would do is I would pick apart what I would do. Oh, I could have done this. I should have done that. Blah, 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 blah. That whole thing. So I just, what? It's going to come up and I'm just going to listen to it, thank it for sharing, and then move on and just choose to look at the positive things that I have done and just know that I'm learning and I don't have to be perfect. And whatever I do is good enough for the time that I've done it.
It's almost like finding perfection in the imperfection.
Absolutely.
We deal with our humanity. It's going to show up. It's going to rear its head. And rather than pull out our favorite beat up stick and start flogging ourselves, it's like maybe to have a little more compassion for who we are and what we're going through, and deal to more have more compassion with ourselves as we deal with our own humanity.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Just one more thing. Anything else? One more thing. I was thinking about letting go of selfishness. And that's not in the point that where most people think, oh, well, she's selfish. The part that I'm looking at is being selfish with me not sharing who and what I am. Not sharing my wisdom, not sharing my talents, not sharing my love, all of that, and kind of keeping it to myself in my own little bubble. And so that's what I'm giving up, is selfishness of who I am and sharing that with humanity.
And I think that's so important because, we all have this beautiful light that's within us. That light's our passion, it's our calling, it's our unique expression. And I think for many of us, and myself included, we have a tendency to throw a blanket over the light. Just for whatever reason, from past experiences of what might have happened where we've expressed our authentic self in the past, and perhaps maybe it wasn't accepted, it wasn't in quote endorsed behavior, and then we've kind of shut that off. But I think now more than ever we realize the importance of bringing who and what we are out and shining that light. That's the key to transforming our lives, but it's also the key to creating transformation and change on a large world scale. And I think that's so important these days. So thank you so much for sharing that. And those are some great examples of what to let go of. So maybe come up with 3 things that you'd like to let go of for you. Maybe what are 3 qualities that you would like to just release and dissipate and let go of? You don't need to know how. It's just about setting the intention and putting the command in and say, you know what, I'm committed to letting go of fear. I'm committed to letting go of self-doubt, or whatever it might be for you. Just come up with 3 things that you would love to release and dissipate and let go in this last decade, and not bring it in with you into the place that we're going. So once we release, it's almost like exhaling. Then the question is, what do you want to bring in? What qualities would you like to build in your life? And for me personally, I think one of the big thing is being kind of a recovered corporate guy. I still have a tendency to reverberate up here in my head a lot. And I think one of the big challenges that I want to really integrate into this next year is moving from here to here and living from this place more and more and more. The more I realize this is where we access our essence. This is where we access who and what we are. This is so much more powerful than this will ever be. And so for me, one of the things is to really to live from that heart space and to reconnect to this. Because I think what happens, and certainly in my case, is we go through experiences in our life and we tend to kind of cut this off. And so maybe just take some deep breaths if that resonates with you and breathe into this place. This is where we want to connect to it. This is where we access to all the information that's available to us in the universe. And I'm much more committed in this next year to really building that connection and shifting from here to here.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yay.
I think another one of the aspects is to really believe in myself, self-belief, to build that frequency of energy. I think, so many of us go through life, and we've all dealt with it to one degree or another, where we doubt ourselves, we doubt our tones, we doubt our abilities, we doubt our healing gifts. I can remember thinking times, and just this last year, it was like this really working and having self-doubt. And then I really want to believe more and more in myself, what it is that I'm bringing forward, the mission that I'm really committed to accomplishing this next year, and helping people become more empowered, more fulfilled, but also to really become more powerful catalysts for transformation and change on the planet. And I want to believe in that essence of who and what we are. And so I think the third aspect that really kind of shows up for me is to build my faith and trust. To build my faith and trust that, I am connected. I have this guidance, this information that's available to me, to believe in it, because there certainly have been times in the past where this has told me something. I'm like, self-doubt or whatever, didn't listen to it, and then kind of got a correction, shall we say, later in life as I've moved on my path, where I've kind of listened more to this as opposed to this. And so I think that would be the third aspect for me, is to really build that faith and trust and to believe in who and what I am, what it is that I'm expressing, and the ability to be able to touch as many lives as possible to help lift humanity up, because I think it's so important this day for us to really to be true to the light that's within, and to bring our music, our passion, our callings out and express that in a higher way. And in order to be able to do that, we need to have a little bit of faith and trust in that process.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Bringing in the new year, and the energy I want to bring in is, building this, building us, building our company, bringing things out for you, and, just knowing that we're on the right path and we are actually doing what we're supposed to be doing. We had talked about doing this company and working together 20 years ago, and life just kind of happened, and we had kids, and I took a back seat, and but now, we're coming together and making our dreams come true. And it's so wonderful to bring in that faith and to come from that heart space. Thank you for saying that. So it's beautiful.
Absolutely. So look at what 3 qualities would you like to bring into your life this next year? Maybe it's more self-love, maybe it's more self-belief, maybe it's a higher level of expression. So really kind of take some time to get clear. What 3 things are you letting go of? What 3 things are you bringing into your experience? And it's such a great way to kind of end the year and to step into this new era of possibility. And all you have to do is this: just set the intention. You don't need to know how. The universe, life will provide the hows. You just have to submit the command in. And you'll be surprised at what happens, because through intention, we set the universe in motion. And then it's just about being open to the synchronicities, to the ahas, to the intuitive hits, and follow along the breadcrumbs, which are most assured to appear on your path.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No, that sounds great.
I guess at this point, it's just like, have a fantastic new year and celebrate as we step into 2020. Go figure, that's kind of freaky. That's like future movies from way back when, in the year 2020. So it's kind of neat to be able to step into a new decade and a new era of possibilities. And I just really want to encourage you to be true to your light, your song, your passion, your calling, and most importantly, your power. You're made up of the same stuff that set this beautiful, unlimited universe in motion. This next decade, this next year is all about all of us tapping into that truth and expressing it with courage, with compassion, and with enthusiasm for what the possibilities might be. So, with that being said, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I hope you have a happy and harmonious new year. Be safe, have some fun, and most importantly, celebrate you.